Beautiful start to the day. Rise and shine, my friends. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week at about 8 o'clock. I'm a few ticks late today. That's on me. But we chat about what's going on in the world of weather, a little bit about what's going on in life, and hopefully get your day started off on an educated, informed, and right direction. With that said, let's look outside. This is a shot from our Tower Cam network. We're looking over Disney Springs. It is already a bright, sunny, and stunning start to the day. Frankie, good morning to you. Nancy, how are you? Pat, good morning, good morning. We are enjoying this sunshine, no doubt about it. Temperatures across town looking great. We are waking up to readings in the 50s for some, 60s for the rest of us. It's nice and dry. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Our first warning Doppler radar, just to confirm, looking A-OK. So I think we are on our way to a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Let's take a look at our 12-hour forecast. Temperatures continuing to climb. 75 degrees by 11 o'clock today. We'll get into the lower range of the 80s. Yeah, it's going to really be a wonderful day. Cindy, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Jan, Linda, good morning. Good morning, Marie. See you this morning, Marie. Beverly, good morning. Tina, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. It's a really nice start to the day. Temperatures today are on their way to warm readings, which, for much of the country is just a pipe dream. Look at this absolute mess that has set up in the nation's midsection from Dallas through Arkansas, right up the Mississippi River. The whites and blues, that's snow. The pinks, that's ice. Oh my. You know what I didn't even do? I didn't even get the power outage information, but I'll have to tweet that after Coffee Talk. It looks awful. Yeah, Texas is reporting, according to poweroutage.us, Texas is reporting already 54,000 people without power. Arkansas reporting 25,000 people without power. So that's already a very large and impactful storm. Every time we make fun of the rest of the country and talk about how we don't participate in winter, these are the kinds of storms we count or need to be counting our blessings for, because that is a really big mess. Ice is not something, seriously, is not something that you want to deal with. Temperatures really up and down the eastern seaboard are comfortable. I mean, winter certainly more impactful up north, but I mean, Wichita's 8 degrees. These are not even wind chills. These are actual air temperatures. 23 in Dallas, 16 in St. Louis. So it's a rough morning for so many people. The one thing that you may ask yourself if you're traveling is, how does this impact our flights? And as you'd imagine, there are a lot of cancellations. Remember, Dallas-Fort Worth is a big airline hub for Americans. So big problems if you've got plans to travel. Back here at home, at least, if you're not traveling, we are looking much, much, much better. That storm system stays north and west of us. We get this kind of east-southeasterly breeze. That is going to lend itself to warming temperatures. Now, widening the shot out for tomorrow, moisture does start to move into the Gulf of Mexico. We continue to warm in our little slice of paradise, but there are questions as to how much moisture moves our direction, okay? So that's something we're certainly going to be monitoring. There is a rocket launch this afternoon, Falcon 9. 80% chance of good weather for this. The question mark is going to be booster recovery. Does the weather look good for booster recovery? I don't know. The seas and winds offshore, because it's a Starlink satellite, it's a company launch. Let me just see what booster. I don't know if anybody ever talked about the booster for today. Because if it's a young booster, they for sure are not going to want to relaunch it. So it's landing on a short fall of gravitas. Okay, so this is booster 1061. So this is going to be booster 1061. And this is flight number 6 for it. It's, let's see, I'm just looking to see, Starlink, Sirius XM. Oh, this one launched Crew 1 and Crew 2 back in April of 2021 and November of 2020. So, then that means that this is the booster. This is the Falcon 9 that has the NASA worm logo written on it, I believe. I think that's this one. 1061. Boy, we can't risk this one. This one needs to come back. If this is the one that has the NASA worm drawn on it, which I think it does. I'd have to ask friends that are out there. Heather, I think 1061. I think that's it, right? Crew 2. Crew 1 and Crew 2. I think so. All right. Anyway, nerddom aside. That looks like it's a pretty good forecast for us. If you're heading out to the theme parks today, looks like a pretty nice forecast there as well. Comfortable temperatures through the day, though we do get a little bit warmer into the afternoon. Yeah. Tim says cruising from Port Canaveral today, hoping for a good launch view from the ship. As long as the ship stays out of the restricted area, I think we'll be good. And also, I'm kind of jealous of you. I would love to be out with you cruising. I want to go cruise. Barbara Ford, good morning to you, my dear. I hope you have a great day. Annie, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Hey, want to mention that the Olympics are technically, they've started, but they are right around the corner in terms of like opening ceremonies. I believe WESH 2 is covering the opening ceremony at 6:30 tomorrow morning. You can watch it live or in prime time, a replay. If you don't want, that means that we'll probably have to watch the news on CW18 in the morning. It's 26 degrees right now in Beijing. And just to update the forecast over the next few days, look at that weather. Gusty for Friday for opening ceremonies. High temperature, 35 degrees. And then they get into a warm stretch this weekend, climbing up into the 40s. Wow, that's so fun. I mean, I know it's the Winter Olympics. I'm just not a huge fan of that kind of weather. So anyway, we'll be chatting about that. Already there have been several events around. Yesterday somebody was talking about curling had already started, and it's like, really? I guess so. I mean, you have to cram everything in. So at any point, tomorrow morning, don't be surprised when the news is not on at 6:30, but instead it is live coverage of the opening ceremony, and then it will replay in prime time for you. But Coffee Talk, we are not impacted by the Olympics. We will carry on. We will continue this train down the tracks. Talking about really wonderful weather, though notice for your Friday, you are going to notice the humidity creep up just a little bit out ahead of our next frontal boundary. Yeah. So what's going on? Here's kind of the overall setup, okay? We've got nice warm air in play for you now. Cold front is marching in, and again, the question is, how much of that moisture marches into our area? It does sweep out the warmer air, moves it into South Florida, and clears it out. And for us this weekend, we actually have a really, really nice stretch of weather, though the high temperatures are going back to roller coaster mode. Look at the difference, right? Tomorrow, a high temperature of about 83 degrees, which is roughly the high temperature forecast that we have today. But for Saturday, your high temperature returns. Heather texted. Thank you, Heather. Heather texted me the booster from Demo 2 is the one with the worm. 1058. Today is 1061. Thank you, Heather. I always help Heather with the weather. Heather helps me nerd out on space things. Thank you. You're right. That was Demo 2, not Crew 2. Idiot. Okay. That's okay. Well, then today I don't care. Today's booster. Push the envelope, Elon. Push the envelope. It'll be landing on a shortfall of gravitas, and if you follow the name, a shortfall of gravitas, anyway. So temperatures this weekend are going to be just a little bit lower, so keep that in mind. If you've got plans out and about this weekend, maybe the long sleeves return. I will say this. It's not snow and ice. Seriously. Like, that's a whole other mess. When we look at the ice... forecast, these are areas that can expect to see a glaze of ice over the next couple of days. Now, obviously, we know down here through Texas, but from about Memphis and the Mississippi all the way up through Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, parts of the upstate in New York, that's ice. I could tell you I have never lived outside of Florida. But if I did, the absolute last thing I would ever want to deal with would be ice. It makes driving dangerous. It makes walking dangerous. That's a mess. So over the next couple of days, there are going to be a lot of people. Sonia's asking, so is it snowing in Texas? Well, let's take a look. Give me a few seconds to dial up. I had the wide perspective, but let's just switch from our local radar. Give me a few seconds. Let me switch it. Oh, hold on. I need to... Weather type. That's the one I want. Okay. Sorry. I had to switch it to weather type. We don't use that in Florida. I could count on maybe two hands the times that I've used the weather type product. All right. Is it snowing in Texas? Does that tell you anything? Yeah. Houston, it's rain. But for our friends in the Dallas Metroplex, it's the worst. That pink line is the rain-snow line. Okay? But that purple, the purple is the problem because that's ice. Like rime ice, freezing rain. That is the mess. And that's right in Dallas. Oh, man, how I feel for them. Fort Worth, it looks like it's transitioned over to snow. But yeah, so this is certainly the time of year that I'm grateful to live in Florida, but I do feel for them, especially because a lot of people have already gotten emails from their energy providers talking about, hey, we may have to cut power, you may have power outages, that sort of thing. That's terrible. Yeah. Oof. Judy says, my daughter lost her truck thanks to ice and drifting. Rolled it. Oh, I mean, and you know what's funny? And maybe she was driving poorly. But you don't have to drive poorly. And I'm not I'm not saying that she was, but like the point is you can be driving as cautious can be and still have problems having to deal with driving. Yeah. Any thoughts on mid to late March weather in West Tennessee? Luann, I can tell you I spend my long-range forecasting in Central Florida. Then we get into hurricane season. But when it comes to March, I've published my forecast for March, and it's Central Florida, yeah. Let's see here. I finally tested negative. Oh, very good, Patty. Congratulations. Welcome back. Little by little, we'll get you better. Dana, as of last night, my friend in Texas already had school canceled for today and tomorrow. Yeah. Oof. When I lived in, Tiffany says, OH. So Ohio, when I lived in Ohio, we would rather get lots of snow than ice. One particular ice storm I remember took almost 2 hours to be able to drive home from work. Right, well, and that's the thing. And Beverly says ice under snow is a death trap. It is. It is. I remember I was in Ohio, and I was walking from the hotel to a Skyline Chili, and it was snow. There was snow on the ground, and I was walking, and I slipped and fell. Turns out there was a layer of ice underneath the snow. Yeah, the weather guy busted his tuchus. So, For our friends in so many impacted areas, that is a major problem. Meanwhile, here in Central Florida, about the worst we can talk about is our golf forecast and how temperatures are going to climb into the 80s. Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. Oh yeah. Yvette says ice is definitely not fun driving in, especially in lightweight vehicles. Chains on tires were a must. I don't have any. I can't even imagine that. Shannon says they can keep that crapola. Yeah, I feel you there. This weather is beautiful. I don't mind. I don't miss painting in Minnesota. Yeah, I can imagine. Chris says we lost our HVAC compressor. What a great time to be without heat or AC. We have window units for backup and space heaters. Very good. Just be careful with those space heaters. Will that system affect us? Yes. The answer is yes. So it does get here, and it does bring in some cooler temperatures. Take a look at Central Florida's most accurate 7-day forecast. Today, the 80s. Tomorrow, the 80s. And then, boom goes the dynamite. The temperatures drop back off into the 60s. We do see some showers around this weekend. It's not looking like the best. And then looking ahead to mid next week, may have an opportunity for some showers and some thunder showers. Tammy says chains don't help with ice. I wouldn't know. I've never driven in the ice. I've driven in the snow, but never the ice. Jan says I have a good friend who was badly injured from a slip and fall on ice. It is very dangerous. It is. That's just not a world that I've ever experienced. Yukon, my wife commented that on news reports, the North don't see chains on most cars. Maybe. Holly, in Arizona, I was there for a wedding. There was a blizzard and, of course, hills and mountains. We were going down a hill, and someone decided to stand at the bottom of the hill. We ended up sliding down the hill sideways, not to hit the man. It was the bride, photographers, and myself in the car freaking out. That's terrifying, Holly. Yeah. Oh, man. I'm supposed to drive home to visit my hometown of Cincinnati tomorrow. Are you? It doesn't look like the greatest. Ugh. Beverly, how does this mess recycle? Oy vey, you're going to make me look this up real fast. I mean, cold fronts are cold fronts, right? Let me pull this up. Today's February 3rd. Cycle day 53. So it recycled December 1st. Here, hold on. Let me look. December 1st. Come on. See, when I do stuff off the beaten path on the other computers, that's when it starts to freak out. December 1st. Let me pull up the satellite imagery from December 1st. 2021. December 1st. So this is the satellite imagery from the previous version of this cycle. I have not looked at this yet. But you can see, oh yeah, well there's that storm system kind of starting to work in that. Storm system should bomb out here. Oh, you can see all that moisture starting to funnel up. Oh, I bet it's because, hold on. Let's go there, and instead of 60, let's just do 12. Yeah. Kind of see the storm system coming to. Are you going to go? Oh, I have to animate it. Sorry. See, when you go off the beaten path, that's when it gets grumpy. Yeah, so there's that storm system from the last version of it. It's a little further north, but it was there. Anyway, finally found ways to do archive satellite imagery and all that fun stuff. I've got archive radar data that's very much going to help. Yesterday, I made a presentation to my boss. On the LRC. I made a presentation because I've got a new news director. Now, she and I go way back. And we did the LRC long range forecast. She was in WPBF, my old station, ironically. She was the news director down there. And so I made my presentation to her. I showed, kind of how the LRC works, how we've done this over the last few years, did some case studying, and then I previewed for her some of the stuff for my LRC this year. She was fascinated, so I'm super cool. I've got an advocate for the long range forecasting in the boss's office. I'm very, very excited about that. Yeah. Let's see. Chains are good for snow in the mountain states. West Coast, big trucks are required to carry them. Oh, yeah. That's a whole thing. Chris says, Eric, really appreciate your tornado reporting yesterday. Thank you. Oh, well, thank you. We took the soundbite from Coffee Talk. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. Let's see here. Family got to go. Customers need me. Tammy, go be good. Patty says, I took out my mailbox and mail flew everywhere, and the kids started laughing and yelling airmail. That was about 30 years ago. Our dirt road was complete ice. Even though I was going very slow, my SUV picked up speed, and I could not stop or turn. That's terrifying. Sonia's asking forecast for the 18th. All right, so let's look long range. The long range forecast for February. So here's the look. We updated this at the end of January. The forecast for the 18th, above average temperatures is what we're looking at right now. Yeah. Who was the unidentified man yesterday in the weather office? We have an intern. He's an Embry-Riddle student, fellow aviator, and fellow weather nerd, and fellow graphics nerd. It's funny. So we have, we've got our weather computers, and so I said to him one day, it would have been Monday, yeah, because that was the day I was in Manalfi. So we had an extra computer on Monday. And so I said to our intern, Daniel, take Max 3, the weather computer. It's the weather computer I use for Coffee Talk every day. And I said, take Max 3 and just play. And he started building graphics. And And within, I would say within an hour, I'll show you. Let me find... Let's see here. So here's the week. I'll show you the week. So here's the weekend forecast that we use, and I built and shipped to 26 stations. Okay, here's his version. Ignore the forecast, but just look at the overall templating. So, he built a version of the 7-day. Bottom line, what I'm trying to say is that in what took me, months and years to finesse, he's already very much on his way to being a graphics maven. Do we want to call it a maven? Yeah. Beverly, any chance of getting a 10-day forecast like WJCL? You just reminded me I have to go in and make a couple of tweaks to their 7-day forecast. To their 10-day forecast. That is management decisions. I can tell you that I have made many 10-day forecasts for stations. But, is my long range forecasting not enough? The 7-day forecast, and then I give you forecasts that go all the way out to March. Are you not entertained? There's your March. I give you months forecast. I'm working on a hurricane season forecast. We will be releasing the hurricane season forecast on March 1st. Is that not enough? Is that not enough for you? Can I not keep you happy? Ugh. It's not my decision. I don't know. There's definitely a trend to... I've probably made 6. We have 26 stations in Hearst, and I've probably made 6, 7, 8, something like that. I've made quite a few 10-day forecasts. Something like that. Bonnie says it is guidance, not gospel. Oh, yeah. Well, you look at the long-range forecast, and that's very much there. What are you going to do? Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns before we wrap up that 7-day forecast and wrap up Coffee Talk? Yukon, if you want a long-range forecast, buy a Farmer's Almanac a whole year. I've got to tell you, I've never opened up a Farmer's Almanac, but I don't like the idea. I mean, I don't know how much science they use, but it doesn't sound great. Yeah. Becca, really glad to read it, my dear. Congratulations. Yeah, I don't know that I love the idea of putting out a year-long forecast without data. I don't know. All right. That's all I got for you for now. This afternoon, we are going to look a little more in depth in that weekend forecast and dive into rain chances and all that fun stuff, okay? All right, listen. Be good, would you? Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you guys and gals today at 3:30. I'm off, and patio furniture is being delivered, so I'm very excited. All right, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. See you again this afternoon at 3:30.